Husband put head in gas oven, home life happy?
No.
Belgravia, an overseas bank clerk, absconds with fortune.
How much is this fortune?
£90,000.
No.
That's a king's ransom, Poirot.
When it is used to ransom a king, it becomes interesting to Poirot.
Missed typist of 21. Where is Edna Field?
Oh, no.
There's good stuff here, Poirot. Mysterious suicide, absconding bank clerk, missing typist.
Yes, but I am not greatly attracted to any of them, mon ami. I have many affairs of importance of my own to attend to.
Such as?
My wardrobe, Hastings. If I mistake not, there is on my new grey suit the spot of grease. You have noticed it, perhaps, eh?
No.
No? Well, it's only the one spot, you understand, but it is sufficient to trouble me. Then there's my winter overcoat. I must lay him aside in the powder of Keating's. Eh? And I think... Yes, I think the moment is ripe for the trimming of the moustache. Also the pomading.
There's a lady to see you, Mr. Poirot.
A lady?
A client. Her name's Mrs. Todd.
Unless the affair is one of national importance, I touch it not.
I couldn't say, sir. Shall I ask her?
Yeah, no, Miss Lemon. Show Mrs. Todd in. We shall judge for ourselves, eh, Hastings?
Oh, yes, yes. Mrs. Todd. Doesn't sound as if she's nationally important. Mind you, I knew a Mrs. Jones once who was master of hounds with the Mid-Rutland.
Yes.
No, that's all. Funny woman.
Mrs. Todd, sir. Thank you.
Oh, are you Mr. Poirot?
I am Hercule Poirot? Yes, madame.
Oh, you're not a bit how I thought you'd be. Did you pay for that bit in the paper saying what a clever detective you were, or did they put it in themselves?
Madame.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sure. But you know what newspapers are like nowadays. Nothing but puff. But no offence taken, I hope. I'll tell you what I want you to do for me. I want you to find my cook.
I fear you are making a mistake, madame. Hercule Poirot is a private detective.
I know that. Haven't I just told you I want you to find my cook for me? Walked out of the house on Wednesday without so much as by your leave and never came back.
I am sorry, madame, but I do not touch that particular kind of business. I wish you good day.
So that's it, is it? Too proud, eh? Only deal with government secrets and countesses' jewels? Well, let me tell you, Mr. High and Mighty Poirot, a good cook's a good cook. And when you lose one, it's as much to you as pearls out of some fine lady.
Madame, you are in the right and I am in the wrong. Your remarks are just and intelligent. This case will be a novelty, Hastings. Never before have we hunted a missing domestique. Truly, here is the problem of national importance. En avant. Where do you reside, Mrs. Todd?
88 Prince Albert Road, Clapham.
Mrs. Jewel cook went out on Wednesday and did not return?
Wednesday, yes, it was her day off.
The day before yesterday. Has it occurred to you, madame, that she might have met with some accident? Have you inquired at the hospital?
That's exactly what I thought yesterday, but this morning, if you please, she sent for her box.
What box?
Her box.
Her trunk. Luggage.
Oh, I see. Will you describe her to me, madame?
Oh, she's most respectable. 10 years in her last place. Middle-aged, grey-haired, thin.
And her name?
Dunn. Eliza Dunn.
This is Clapham. There's the common.
Charming. You had no disagreement with her on Wednesday, madame?
No, that's what makes it all so queer.
How many servants do you keep?
2. Miss Dunn and the house parlour maid, Annie. There we are. There's 88. All right, driver.
Hastings, my friend, promise me one thing.
What's that, Poirot?
Never, but never must Chief Inspector Japp hear that I investigated such a case.
Mine was the word, old boy.
Now, Annie, this gentleman's a detective. He wants to ask you a few questions.
Here we are, sir.
Voyons, Mademoiselle Annie. Sit yourself.
Thank you, sir.
All that you shall tell us will be of the greatest importance, Annie. You alone can shed any light on the case. Without you, I can do nothing.
Oh, sir, I'm sure I'll tell you anything I can, sir.
That is good. Now, first of all, what is your own idea? You are a girl of remarkable intelligence that can be seen at once. But this is a queer thing, eh? What is your own explanation of Eliza's disappearance?
White slavers, sir. I've said so all along, sir. Only no one will listen. Cook was always warning me against them. Don't you go sniffing no scent nor eating no sweets, no matter how gentlemanly the fellow.
This is something we had not thought of, Hastings.
No. Right. Good heavens.
But would she have sent for her trunk?
Beg pardon, sir?
Miss Dunn sent for her trunk, I believe. Now, if she had truly been taken by these white slavers, would she have sent for her luggage?
Well, I don't know, sir. She'd want her things, wouldn't she? Even in foreign parts, she'd want her things.
Who came for her trunk, Annie?
The carrier, sir. The men from Carter Patterson.
And did you pack it for her?
No, sir. It was already packed and corded.
That is interesting. That shows that when she left the house on Wednesday, already she determined not to return. You see that, do you not?
Oh, I'd never thought of that.
Tell me now, Annie. What was the very last thing Eliza said to you before she went out?
She said, if there's any stewed peaches left over from the dining room, we'll have them for supper. And a bit of bacon and fried potatoes. Mad over stewed peaches, she was. I shouldn't wonder if that wasn't the way they got her.
Got her.
The white slavers.
Ah, the stewed peaches. Quite.
Thank you very much, Annie. You have been most helpful.
Was she saying things about me?
Not at all. Only things of the pleasantest nature. But for a woman of your intelligence, madame, it would be tiresome to bear with patience the roundabout methods we plodding detectives have to use.
Oh, I see. Well, I wouldn't say there was all that much difference between us, Mr. Poirot. Mind you, I was always very good at general knowledge at school.
There. And your husband, too, I'm sure, is the intellectual, yes?
Yes. Yes, he does very well with figures.
A successful businessman?
With the Prudential, yes, in the city.
What about the other inmates of the house, madame?
Oh, you mean Mr. Simpson, our paying guest?
What is his profession, madame?
Oh, he's in business, too, with the Belgravia and Overseas Bank.
A young man, is he?
28, I believe. He's a nice young fellow. Well, they'll both be in at about 6 if you want to see them.
An excellent suggestion, madame. Well, my colleague and I will take a turn on your famous common for 1 hour.
It's a curious coincidence that the paying guest Simpson works in the same bank as the absconding clerk. They must have known each other.
Perhaps. Or possibly Davis visited Simpson, fell in love with the cook, and he persuaded her to accompany him on his flight. Come, Hastings. Let us go back to the Prudential, Monsieur Todd.
I've heard of you, Mr. Poirot, haven't I?
It's possible, Monsieur Todd.
Oh, yes. I follow crime, you know.
Indeed. Well, perhaps you have some theories about the disappearance of your cook.
Theories? No. It's hardly a crime, is it? Good cook, though. And economical. I'm very hot on economy.
Admirable. Now, we would like to have a few words with your Mr. Simpson, if that's possible.
Another one after that.
Thank you.
Just off the next landing.
Mr. Simpson?
Hold on.
Yes. Mr. Simpson, my name is Poirot. Hercule Poirot.
Oh, yes.
May we have a moment of your so valuable time?
Certainly. Come in.
Thank you. Mr. Simpson, Mrs. Todd has engaged me to find Eliza Dunn, the cook.
Oh? Where is she?
But that is what we do not know, monsieur. You know her, of course.
Well, I must have met her, I suppose.
Well, it would seem that Miss Dunn has not been seen since Wednesday. Did you see her on that day?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You were at work as usual on Wednesday?
Yes?
Well, thank you, Mr. Simpson. It was most kind of you to spare us the time. Tell me, Mr. Simpson, what does a young fellow find to do around here of an evening, huh?
Oh, the usual things, you know.
Oh, with musical evenings, amateur theatricals, that kind of thing?
Yes, I suppose so.
But you do not interest yourself, hmm?
afraid not.
No. Thank you.
I think that husband's got something to do with it.
To do with the missing cook?
There's something about him I don't trust.
Merely because a man does not offer you a drink, Hastings, does not mean that he is necessarily guilty of other crimes.
There doesn't seem to be any crime at all, as far as I can see.
No, it is a curious case, full of contradictory features. I am interested. Oh, yes. I am distinctly interested.
What? What? How does she dare?
What is it?
As a favor, as a great favor, I agree to investigate this two-penny, half-penny affair.
What is it, old chap?
Read it! Read it!
Mr. Todd regrets that after all his wife will not avail herself of Mr. Poirot's services.
Yeah.
After talking the matter over with me, she sees that it is foolish to call in a detective about a purely domestic affair.
Yeah.
Mr. Todd encloses a guinea for consultation fee.
Is this to be believed, huh? Do they think they can get rid of Hercule Poirot like that, huh? No! No, 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 no! 36 times! No! They send me 1 guinea, huh? No! I will spend my own guineas. 3,600 of them, if need be. But I will get to the bottom of this matter.
If Eliza Dunn will communicate with this address, she will hear something to her profit.
Advantage.
Yes?
Yes.
Good. You have that, Miss Lemon?
Yes, Mr. Poirot.
Put it in all the papers you can think of.
She won't read the Times, I shouldn't think.
No, my dear Miss Lemon, perhaps she will not. But perhaps her new employers will. Now run along, Miss Lemon. Feet, feet. And you, Hastings, do not you run away with such celerity. I have work for you too.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I was thinking of popping down to Sandown this afternoon.
No, no, no. You do not pop.
Well, there's a horse running a pal of mine owns a leg of.
When he owns 4 legs, I pop with you. But now it's time for work, yes? I want you to telephone all the domestic agencies you can find and see if they have found Miss Eliza Dunn a new post. As for me, I pop to the City of London. And Mr. Simpson was at work as usual on Wednesday?
Oh, yes, Mr. Simpson is an excellent timekeeper. Though, to tell the truth, he was absent on Thursday with a cold.
You have been most helpful, Mr. Cameron. Thank you.
Glad to be of assistance.
It is an unfortunate occurrence, this business of Davis absconding.
Oh, you read about that, did you?
Well, one could scarcely miss it.
Well, the newspapers love scandals about banks.
That is human nature, Mr. Cameron. But it is comforting for us mere mortals to know that banks, too, have their difficulties. Again, I thank you, monsieur.
Chief Inspector Jack, I wonder if I might ask you a few questions. You and Davis are friends, I believe, Mr. Simpson.
That's right. I can't believe this of him. There must be some mistake.
If I told you, sir, the number of times I've heard that said. If you had to hazard a conjecture, Mr. Simpson, as to where Davis might go if he wanted to hide, where would you say?
I don't know. He was fond of Broadstairs.
Yes, I was thinking of somewhere a little more exotic than that, sir. Foreign parts, even.
Oh, I don't think he's ever been abroad.
You were at work as usual on Wednesday, were you, Mr. Simpson?
It's Thursday you want to know about, surely. And I was away on Thursday.
No, Mr. Simpson. Although the bonds were found to be missing on Thursday, we believe that they must have been removed from the bank on Wednesday.
I was here all day Wednesday.
What's that?
That man.
What about it?
He was at my diggings yesterday.
Was he, by George?
Chief Inspector Jean.
After the reward, eh, Poirot?
Oh, no. No, I am engaged on quite a different case.
And what would this different case be, then?
Ah, well, now, there is such a thing as client confidentiality, Chief Inspector. Let me just say that this case I am engaged on is of national importance.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, Poirot. Someone was trying to tell me you'd gone into the missing domestics business. No, I said. Not Poirot, I said. Hard times or not, he wouldn't fall that far.
No word from Eliza Dunn, Miss Lemon.
No, Mr. Poirot.
Another letter from the Duchess of Wrexham.
No.
She sounds desperate.
No.
Good heavens.
Mr. Poirot.
Yes, Miss Lemon, yes.
There's a letter, sir. A letter from Eliza Dunn.
There! Did I not tell you, Hastings? And you try to waste Poirot's time with the duchesses.
Well, I only thought...
You must learn, my friend, the patience. Read it to us, Miss Lemon.
Dear sir or madam, ref your ad in the paper. I already got my legacy, if there's some mistake. Yours truly, Eliza Dunn, miss. P.S. Thanks all the same for your trouble.
What does she mean, legacy?
We must talk to this woman at Fell Cottage, Amdale, Keswick.
Keswick?
That's Keswick, Mr. Poirot, in the Lake District.
Ah, are there trains to this place?
Oh, yes.
Bon. Come, Hastings. We have a train to catch.
But...
Look at it, Hastings. Not a building in sight. Not a restaurant. Not a theater. Not an art gallery. A wasteland.
I thought you liked the country.
But this is not the country, my friend. The country is full of trees and flowers and public houses. This is a desert.
I don't know why we've come all this way anyway. You found the cook.
No, the cook is but the beginning of the story, Hastings. We're on to bigger things.
Look at that, Poirot. Look at that view.
Yes, well, views are very nice, Hastings. But they should be painted for us.
so that we may study them in the warmth and comfort of our own homes. That is why we pay the artist for exposing himself to these conditions on our behalf.
What do you mean conditions? It's a wonderful day. Just fill your lungs with that air.
No, my poor friend. This sort of air is intended for birds and little furry things. The lungs of Hercule Poirot demand something more substantial. The good air of the town. Fell cottage, I perceive.
We have got the right Eliza Dunn, have we? I mean, what's she doing all the way up here?
That is what we are here to find out.
Wonderful position.
If you are rock is wonderful.
Yes?
Miss Eliza Dunn,
Yes.
formerly in the employ of Mrs. Ernestine Todd at 88 Prince Albert Road, Clapham.
That's right.
I am Hercule Poirot, Miss Dunn. You were kind enough to answer my newspaper advertisement.
Oh, yes. Well, like I said in my letter, sir, I've already got my legacy.
Miss Dunn, may we be permitted to come into the house for a moment? I'm sure your employer will not object.
No, she won't mind. Come in.
Thank you.
Come in. The reason I laughed, sir, I'm sorry, is I don't have no employer, see? This is my house.
Oh, Miss Dunn, forgive me.
That's all right, sir. You wasn't to know. This is part of my legacy, see? Oh, sit down, do.
Thank you. Now, Miss Dunn, you have mentioned your legacy, but Captain Hastings and I, we know nothing of this.
What was the ad then?
Your late mistress, Mrs. Todd, was much concerned about you. She feared some accident might have befallen you.
But didn't she get my letter?
No, she got no letter. She got no word of any kind.
Oh, dear, sir. I gave the letter to Mr. Crotchet. I said most particularly was to give it to Mrs. Todd. Oh, dear.
Well, perhaps you would recount to Captain Hastings and me the whole story?
Well, Wednesdays is my day out. And it was last Wednesday that it all started, like.
The stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner.
I'd been over to see my friend in Oxton and I was on my way home when a gentleman stopped me. He said he'd been asking for me at number 88. Then he told me some story about an old friend of my grandmother's in Australia leaving me a house and some money in her will. Well, I didn't believe him at first. And then he showed me this letter.
It will be the stone which the builders have rejected.
Who was these lawyers, Hurst and Crotchet, 127 Wentworth Way, Melbourne?
Well, one of them is right here, Miss Dan.
Benjamin Crotchet, attorney at law.
I hope that allays your very understandable fears.
Oh, yes, indeed, sir. I didn't mean to doubt you.
Now, Miss Dan, to business. I do have to tell you that the house is in Chiswick.
Ah, that's just over by Acton, isn't it, sir?
No, Miss Dunn, it's in the north of England, near Carlisle.
Oh, my good God.
But before we confront that particular difficulty, there is one other stipulation that we should get out of the way.
Whatever's that, sir?
Well, it's of no importance as it doesn't apply in this case, thank heaven. It's just a stipulation that you should not be in domestic service.
Oh.
Whatever's the matter, Miss Dunn?
I'm a cook, sir. Didn't they tell you at the house?
My dear Miss Dunn, I had no idea. This is very unfortunate.
Well, I the money, sir. And the house, sir. Sounds ever so nice. Even if it is a bit out of the way.
I believe I have it. We lawyers always know a thing or two. The way out here is for you to have left your employment before we met.
But we have met, sir, I mean, and I haven't.
Haven't you?
No.
Haven't you, Miss Dan?
No. Oh, I see. Yes.
You left your employment this morning, did you not, before we met?
Yes. I remember now. I did, as a matter of fact.
There. Now, it is imperative that you take possession of the house by noon tomorrow. In order to do that, you must catch the night train from King's Cross.
Oh!
Go along, Miss Dunn. I can adventure £10 or so for the fare, and you can write a note to your employer at the station, which I shall personally deliver for you and explain everything.
And was everything as Mr. Crotchet had said?
Oh, yes, and more, sir.
Now, what about your luggage? All the things you had left at 88 Prince Albert Road.
Oh, well, Mr. Crotchet sent them on, like he said he would, but it was all done up in brown paper, like. I don't know. I suppose Mrs. Todd was angry with me and grudged me my bit of luck and wouldn't let him have my box.
But Annie said the trunk was...
Later, my friend. Later.
But there, you said she never got my letter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say as I blame her.
I see. Well, thank you, mademoiselle.
Oh.
There had been, as you say, a little muddle about your trunk, which I will straighten out with Mrs. Todd, if you will permit.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Come, Hastings. We must return to London with all possible speed. Is there nowhere you can contact the Chief Inspector Japp? Then telephone him at his home. Yes, of the greatest urgency. Tell him he should not be looking for Davis. He should be looking for Simpson. No, not Davis, but Simpson!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Why should Japp want Simpson all of a sudden? What's Simpson supposed to have done?
Hastings, my friend, the little grey cells are not working today, huh? They take a little vacances, huh?
It's to do with this Eliza, isn't it?
No. We have moved beyond the petty sphere of cooks from Clapham, Hastings.
Then it's something to do with this Australian fellow.
There is no Australian fellow.
Yes, there is. She told us about him.
Do you remember when we interviewed Simpson?
Interviewed Simpson? No.
In his little room at the house in Clapham.
Oh, right, the lodger, yes.
Do you remember I asked him if he took an interest in amateur theatricals?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Why do you think I asked him that?
Why? Well, making conversation, I suppose.
I asked him that because he had recently been wearing a false beard. He had a tiny trace of gum arabic in his, what do you call it here?
Sideburn.
Sideburn, yes. Do you see?
Oh, right, yes.
Bon.
The Australian was Simpson in a false beard.
Hey!
Who are you? I am Hercule Poirot. Who are you?
Sarge, there's some French gent at the door.
No. I am not some French gent. I am some Belgian gent.
Well, and if it isn't Mr. Poirot?
It is. Is the lady of the house in?
The Chief Inspector's here.
Mr. Poirot!
Ah, Mrs. Todd,
I don't know how you have the impertinence to show your face here again.
But, Mrs. Todd...
You were paid off, Mr. Poirot. You were paid off handsomely.
Well...
And then look at this. We've got policemen crawling all over the house.
You're not too popular in Clapham this morning, Poirot. Bit of a wild goose chase, this. As far as we can ascertain, this Mr. Simpson of yours is a perfectly respectable young bank employee who happens to have gone home to his family. We have the Shropshire Constabulary checking that at the moment.
I only wanted to ask...
No.
Well, perhaps you'd be interested to know...
No, I wouldn't. Good day, Mr. Poirot.
Poirot?
I need to ask you a question. Can you help me?
I'll try, sir.
Last Friday, the Cutter Patterson came to collect Eliza's trunk, yes?
Her box? Yes, sir.
You were here when he came?
Oh, yes, sir. I had to show them up to Eliza's room for them to take it up.
Bon.
It was ever so heavy, sir. It took 3 of them to get it down the stairs. You all right, sir?
Of course. Tell me, Annie, you said her box was already packed.
Oh, yes, sir. Packed, locked and corded. Quite a thick rope round it and done up ever so tight.
Did it have a label on it?
Yes, it did, sir.
With an address?
Just a name. Miss Eliza Dunn, it said. Twickenham Station, to be called for.
Very well, Annie. Thank you. Au revoir.
Au revoir, sir.
Excellent.
Then why would Crotchet want to perpetrate such an elaborate hoax?
Ah, that is a very good question, Hastings.
But Eliza Dunn has got her house.
I shall be surprised if she finds she has more than a 6 months lease.
So what did Crotchet want?
Crotchet?
Well, Simpson then, pretending to be Crotchet.
He wanted something that Eliza Dunn had.
Money, the Australian legacy.
He wanted a battered old tin trunk.
Her trunk? With nothing in it? But he could buy a trunk.
Oh, but he did not want a new trunk, mon ami. He wanted a trunk of pedigree. A trunk of assured respectability.
Now, look here, Poirot. What would Simpson want an old trunk for?
To put the body in, of course.
Sent it on to Glasgow, Gov, to await collection there.
But how do you know this? You have not consulted your records.
I don't need to consult my records, Gov, do I?
What do you mean, body? What body?
Is he with you?
Whose body? I mean to say, there's going to be bodies all over the place.
Doucement, Hastings. all will be revealed to you.
Can we get on with the business in hand?
By all means.
I saw to it myself, didn't I? Yesterday morning. Some cove with a beard.
Crotchet?
You spoke to this man?
Of course I spoke to him.
Did he give a name?
Nah. He just said this Eliza Dunn was his aunt, and she wanted the trunk sent on to Glasgow.
And it's gone? You have sent it?
Nah. Every Friday, the Southern Railway pays me huge amounts of money, so I won't do that sort of thing.
I think he's being sarcastic, Poirot.
No. No, Hastings. He is a good man. He is doing the job of great responsibility. Thank you, monsieur.
I'll tell you one thing now.
And what is that, monsieur?
Are you looking for this bloke or something?
Well, of course we're looking for him.
I'm talking to the engineer, not the oil rag.
Now, look here.
No, Hastings. What is this one thing you will tell us, monsieur?
All right. I'll tell you. I'll tell you where he is. There.
Go on.
Well, at least where I think he is.
Ah, a bit less sure now.
I bet he is. I bet he's where I say.
And where do you say?
Bolivia. There.
Bolivia?
That's in South America.
And what is it that makes you think he is in Bolivia?
Well, going there, at least, on his way, like. He has to pay for this trunk to be sent on to Glasgow, see?
I see.
He takes out a wad of notes, could choke a cart horse it would. There's a few English notes there, which he pays what he owes me with. But I couldn't help but notice most of the other notes were Bolivian.
Hastings, this gentleman is a genius.
How do you know they were Bolivian?
Well, one tiny little thing was, they had Bolivia written all over them, didn't they?
Here we are, this week's sailings. Nothing for Bolivia today.
Bolivia is a landlocked country, Hastings.
Ah, that explains it then.
One sails to Buenos Aires and goes by train from there.
What lovely names they all have. Queen of Heaven sailing for Caracas.
Thank you, Miss Lemon. Can we stick to Buenos Aires, please? Ah, here we are. The SS Novonia from Southampton at 1 a.m.
Well, let's go then. Are we looking for Simpson or the trunk?
Simpson, of course. The trunk is in Glasgow. But first, Scotland Yard.
And of course you see some sinister point in all this Arthur Simpson's activities.
Well, yes, of course, Chief Inspector. 6 months' rent on a house, £150 to Miss Dunn. It is not much to assure the success of his plan.
And this famous plan is? I mean, we've heard a lot about it, Mr. Poirot, and I'm sure it's been very entertaining, but...
We are wasting time, Chief Inspector.
Go on, then.
His plan, of course, is to steal £90,000 worth of negotiable securities from the Belgravia and Overseas Bank.
No, that's Davis.
Here it is, Sergeant.
Chief Inspector Japp speaking. Oh, yes, Sergeant. Good. Good. It's Glasgow. They found the trunk.
And?
What do you mean, and?
Have they opened it?
Sergeant Hendry, have you opened the trunk? Ah, yes, I see.
Apparently they need a warrant up there.
Mon Dieu. There is a body in that trunk.
A body. Look, Sergeant, there seems to be the possibility there's a body in that trunk. Yes, a dead body. You will? Right, thank you. He thinks that may expedite matters. He's going to ring me back. Now then, what body? Whose body?
Davis, of course.
This is nonsense, Poirot. Davis stole those securities from the bank. Davis is the one who disappeared the day after.
Precisely. You think what Simpson wanted you to think. Listen, Chief Inspector. On Wednesday, Simpson, disguised, decoys away the cook. Now, he has already removed the securities from the bank, but knows that this will not be discovered until Thursday afternoon. Now, he does not go to the bank on Thursday. Instead, he lies in wait for Davis when he comes out to lunch and asks him to come to Clapham with him. Now, it is the maid's day out. Mrs. Todd is at the shops. There is no one in the house. Simpson kills Davis. The one difficulty for a murderer is the disposal of the body. And that is why Simpson wanted the trunk of Miss Eliza Dunn. And now, if I am not much mistaken, my friends, it is here we will apprehend our murderer. Have I got something wrong, Chief Inspector?
No, no, Poirot. Can't be right every time.
Mon Dieu, I am wrong. I am wrong. Officer, where does the Queen of Heaven sail from tonight?
Why, from Pier 5, sir, over there.
Poirot, where are we going?
The Queen of Heaven sails for Caracas tonight. I remember it from the time.
Yes, but Caracas isn't in Bolivia, is it?
What the porter saw on the banknote was not Bolivia.
What was it then?
It was Bolivar. And the Bolivar is the unit of currency in Venezuela. Our friend is on his way to Venezuela. Simpson!
Stop that man!
No, Miss Lemon, to the left. At least 1 centimeter to the left. That's better. Voila. Is there nothing to which Hercule Poirot cannot turn his finger?
Hand.
Pay to Hercule Poirot the sum of 1 guinea only, Ernest Todd. It is to me, Hastings, a little reminder never to despise the trivial, but the undignified. A disappearing domestic at one end, a cold-blooded murder at the other.